So my kids and I asked you what we should add next to our flight sim that we're building together. A couple of you suggested adding missions. Well, and obviously a whole load of you suggested adding your favourite planes. But you can't buy new planes unless you do a mission first, right? So I set about implementing a framework for missions. You can have conditions for what you need to accomplish, various actions that happen along the way. Then I set up a basic user interface so the mission can have some narration. Now, in the last video, everyone seemed to enjoy the way you can ping the trees. So I thought for our first mission, I'd make it so you need to ping 50 trees. But then I thought, you know what I need in my life right now in the run up to Christmas? More deadlines. Why don't I make it a 12 days of Christmas themed mission set? So I grabbed some Christmassy assets off the asset store and created a bit of a winter wonderland. Now, of course, we needed some new terrain textures and some snow particle effects. Then it was time for the first mission, a partridge in a pear tree. What does a pear tree even look like? I grabbed a model that looked vaguely right and did the usual work in Blender to make it deformable. Then I grabbed a cute looking bird that would do for a partridge, but it seemed to have a little bit of trouble. Once I realised you could lock the orientation, then I just needed to make it move. Only not that fast. Then I asked my daughter if she could create a pear in Blender. She made the outline, then we spun it around 360 degrees. Let's drop that into Unity. Oops! Once I sorted out the scale, it was easy enough to make a nice looking pear tree. And when you ping it, the partridge flaps down to the ground and starts walking back to base. Next, we needed a character to give you your Christmas themed missions at the North Pole. So my daughter drew a little character in Procreate on the iPad. And then my son, the sound designer, recorded some voices which we messed around with a bit in Audacity. Yeah, real good job, Bernard. I got my youngest son involved too. He did some landscaping and placed all of the Christmas props and things. Okay, so 2 turtle doves. How about a delivery mission? I tried coding a kind of bouncy rope effect to tow the doves in a cage, but ow! Why do you keep hitting me? Ow! So I tried a different approach, but now there's some crazy physics effect going on. In the end, I decided to just fake it, use a super simple script to make the cargo follow the plane on a rope, and I think it looks pretty good. Then I made a proper looking cage for the turtle doves. Three French hens were basically just a larger version of the same cargo mission, with slightly different rope parameters to make it feel heavier. Right, time for 4 calling birds. This time I wanted to hide the birds around the map, but with musical notes to alert you to their presence and some spatial audio effects to lead you there. Then when you get close, the birds start flying away. I was delighted when Matthew Fernley in the comments suggested I should add rings for you to fly through, since that's exactly what I had in mind for the 5th day of Christmas. Only it turned out to be way harder than it should have been to get it detecting collisions with an object that has a hole in the middle. But we got there in the end, and it works pretty well. On to 6 geese a laying. I thought this one would be really fun. 6 geese have invaded the runway, and you basically have to scare them off by doing a fly past. But even just making them face in the right direction took a little while. And it's meant to be ladies dancing, not the geese. But in the end, it is really fun now we've got it working right. For 7 swans are swimming, I got into trouble with my daughter because I needed to crack on and make the 3D model myself while she was in bed. Maybe that's why it ended up looking flat as a pancake for some completely unknown reason when I dropped it into Unity. Well, that's all of the birds out of the way. That means we're on to the people. I wanted to make sure they fitted with the art style, so my daughter again did concepts of all of the people we'd need. Then we sat together while she created them all in Blender. I animated the maids a milking. Then it was time for some more coding to make a fancy queuing system. It was probably overkill for a silly Christmas project, but I wanted to use it as an opportunity to build what we'd need later, and the results are really nice. Though it was slight chaos on the runway for a moment or two. You need to give the maids a lift to their cows who are over on the other side of the map. 9 Ladies Dancing is one of my personal favourites, only they can't dance because they have no speaker system. Deliver some banging tunes so that they can have a proper boogie on the stage. Next up, 10 lords want to do a parachute jump. Take them to a specific drop zone and then they leap. For the 11th day, a snowstorm has set in. I added some fog effects, increased the snow intensity, and you have to fly through various beacons to light the way for the pipers to follow. And last but not least, 12 drummers with drums. They need to be given a lift back to the North Pole, where we've spruced it up with some extra decorations for the grand finale. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. Extremely rough around the edges, but I've uploaded the game to itch.io so you can play it in a web browser. Please don't expect too much of it. I'm sure there are lots of bugs and you may not even be able to get through all the missions, but it's a lot of fun. It doesn't even tell you how to take off, so you just have to hold the down key. Let us know in the comments which is your favourite Christmas mission, and don't worry, for our next project it sounds like we definitely need to let you buy new planes that you can fly. What other rewards do you think you should be able to earn for completing missions? And what on earth do you think we should call the game? I have my own idea, but I'd love to hear yours. Have a great Christmas, everybody.